everybody. I'm Bree.
I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. So, if you're new to our channel, here we like to discuss some of our favorite reality shows that we watch together as a couple.
Of course.
So, if you love reality TV like we do, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
So, I know it's been a while, everyone. Y'all got to excuse us. The adulting, the bills, the responsibilities took control. But we're back. We're back and we're better. But we got a new show for y'all.
Yes, and if you was paying attention to the title of this video, we are going to be talking about OWN's Put a Ring on It. So if you're not familiar with this show, make sure that you just go back on your on demand or try to find it on somebody's streaming network or platform. And I really encourage you all to do some binge watching because this is some messy good TV.
It is.
So this past Friday was the season 4 premiere of the show, and it's new vibes, new couples. We got a new doctor this season. So if you're familiar with the show, you do know that Dr. Nicole, who pretty much did all 3 seasons, she is now replaced with Dr. Stacy. So how are you feeling about Dr. Stacy? And it's real. I think it's Dr. Stacy Johnson. Is her full name. How do you feel about Dr. Stacy?
I feel like she brings this new flavor. Like, I feel like she kind of has that no nonsense, that look here. Because we're not going to get a repeat of Otis from last season arguing with the last doctor. That's not going to happen with this one.
Guys, when I tell you again, if you watch this show, last season stressed me out so bad. Like, I did not like the way it made me feel. It was just a whole bunch of just foolery that was going on all season. There was no couple to really root for. Like, it was just a hot ass mess. So I'm trying to start with a clean slate with this show because I literally was about to tap out. It was messy and it was good TV, but at the same time, it was just way too toxic, which is like most shows on OWN right now, which we'll talk about that later, about OWN and their lineup and how just things are getting very strange and toxic on their little weekend night lineups for their reality show. So
great TV.
It is what it is. But back to Put a Ring on It. I really do like Dr. Stacy as well. Like, instantly, like, I like her no nonsense, like, just this real authentic energy about her. And I'm not saying that Dr. Nicole wasn't a good doctor. She was. But I feel like it was kind of like tiptoeing a little bit with a lot of the guys and maybe even some of the women that was on the show in previous seasons. And I don't know, like, they weren't really getting down to the nitty gritty.
I felt like she was letting them get away with certain behaviors.
Right. I agree.
They were getting away.
So I am happy that they made a change. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the preview of the new season before it premiered, like, we've been seeing commercials for the past, like, 2 or 3 months. I was nervous because usually with shows like this, once they change, like, the host or if they have like an actual professional doctor on the show, it changes for the worse a lot of times. And so I was a little nervous. I was like, oh, like, is this going to be too fake and phony, too scripted? Are we about to kind of just change the whole direction of the show? But at the same time, I was like, nothing can get as bad as last season. So we can only go up from here.
Shout out to Otis and Ken.
Shout out to who?
Otis and Ken.
Oh my God. Like, I just got triggered. But yeah, Dr. Stacy, she seems really nice. I really like her. She seems real. And I think she's really going to bring some heat this season and hold people accountable because that's what they need to do. So I'm feeling it. And I think they're still in Atlanta this season.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think they're still there.
But I don't know. If I'm looking at the previews, it seems like this is going to be a good one. Seems like it's going to be a lot of laughs. Seems like it's going to be some twists. This just, it looks great.
Yeah. Well, let me bring out my notes because I made notes. Because it's a premiere, so it wasn't too many things going on. But there was some red flags, and we're gonna talk about them red flags. Okay, so and if you watched the show, if you did watch the premiere, you already know what couple I have in mind, and we're gonna save that couple for the end. We're gonna save them for the end because I got something to say about them. But we'll start with. Do you want to start with what is it? Joya and is it Joshua? Joshua. Sir, if I'm messing up your name, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you gotta excuse us.
But I feel like it's Joshua, and in my notes, it's like auto corrected, so it did Joshua, but I think his name is Joshua, which is a nice name. It's a nice name, sir. I really like that.
Yeah, pretty specific. Before
we even get into the couple specifically, I just have to say, this might be a little vain, but everybody's so beautiful. They're just so beautiful. Everybody looks great. Everybody should be on like a mahogany card. I love it. Love it. But anyways, so Joya and Joshua, they have been together for 2 years. No kids.
No kids, okay.
Now at the very beginning of the episode, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of made to seem like she didn't have any kids. I feel like they're so happy, they travel, they love each other, blah blah blah. They're beautiful people, great. But I guess their issue, if you will, is the fact that she really wants to start a family like immediately, and he's kind of like, kind of sort of dragging his feet. But I think that's all opinion based, because me personally, I feel like 2 years, it's not really dragging your feet. I don't think that's really long.
No, and I remember watching too. I think it's Joshua. Excuse me. But I believe one thing that he was talking about the most was he does enjoy that freedom for right now.
Yeah.
He was talking about he's a frequent traveler, and for him, that's something he wants to do right now. Like, he has places he wants to see, and he knows, the pressures of getting married right now, the things that come with planning a wedding, as well as possible kids down the line, kind of takes away from their fun and things that he wants to experience with her.
Right. Yeah. So, so that's their biggest problem. I feel like it's like regular couple shit. Like, one partner wants to rush, have the family. I don't think I didn't see any super major red flags or anything with them. They seem like they're really nice people. Seem normal.
He seems a lot laid back too. Like, he's just really, really chill.
Yes, and I love a laid back man. Man that's not doing too much. But their first dates, and let me not say there. So this premiere, all of the women are going on their dates first. So, and they started immediately. Dr. Stacy was like, it starts today, right now.
She won't play.
Yes. So Joya ends up going on a date with Kyle. I believe that's his name, Kyle. Kyle, you did a lot. It's not my cup of tea. It was too much. It's too much. I don't know. Like, calm down. It was just a lot. Like, even when they got to their, to the restaurant, he was just like, when they first pulled up and like, he was like pulling out her chair, he says, this to the waitress, this is my future wife or something like that. That's extra. I don't like that. That's a red flag.
He's speaking into existence. What you mean?
That's trash. I don't like that at all.
He had a lot of caffeine before that date.
That's so weird. It was weird. I don't like it. Yeah, like I said, me personally, I don't like guys that do a lot. He was doing too much. But he wants some brownie points, because as they were talking, getting to know each other, he did mention that he has one biological son, but he is raising 3 other kids of his son's mother. So his son's mother had 3 other kids prior to them getting in a relationship, and so he became like a father figure to them. And so he is raising his son's brothers and sisters. And I think, what woman don't love to hear that when it's true? Because they be lying. But come on. Gosh. He won brownie points for that one.
Oh gosh.
He won brownie points for that one. But it also seemed like he had a pretty good sense of humor. He was, He
had an old soul about him too.
Yeah, as they were talking, like, he seemed to be cool. He just did a lot at the first meet. Like, I was just like, oof, Jesus, too much.
First impressions are everything.
Yes. But it seemed like Joya was enjoying herself.
Cheesing ear to ear.
She was cheesing. Do you hear me?
Ear.
She was cheesing. As they're talking, and he's mentioned something about like, or she asked, what would be your like ideal first date? And he brought up a picnic. And I even have in my notes, she was impressed by picnics. Because that, like, she just grilling, like, ooh, just cheesing. She was just too impressed by that. But they seem like they have pretty good chemistry, which is scary to this other significant other. But no, it looked like she enjoyed herself. Yeah. What's your first impression so far with him and that date?
I think they can hit it off for the first day. I think they hit it off. I wonder if she is going to want to do it again or see who is next. But I felt like she enjoyed his sense of humor. I felt like she enjoyed just his personality. Yeah, the joke was a little all over the place in the beginning when he claimed her as his wife in the future. But I think she shook that off and just saw him for his personality.
Yeah. And so there was also, like, towards the end, there was this moment where I guess he had some food on his face. Mm-hmm. And so she takes a napkin and, like, dabs it off, very cliche thing to do. And then he kisses her hand.
Ooh, a boundary.
And you got a little spicy. You think it's a boundary?
It's a boundary.
Is it a boundary? So if a guy kisses the women's hands on these dates, you think that's a no?
Is he the one in the relationship or is he the single one?
What?
So if the woman's on the date.
Yeah, in the show. Like this, okay. What happened?
So what happened? I mean, he's single. What's wrong with that for him?
Okay, so what was she supposed to do? Because you said that's a boundary.
I mean, shit. It looked like it happened fast. It looked like she never
right. So what was she supposed to do?
I don't know. Pull her hand back.
It was so fast. Like, it was just a kiss and then just...
I mean, at the end of the day, they signed up for this show. So things are going to happen. So, I mean, it is what it is.
You get what you asked for.
Yeah, you want to be on the show.
Because when she got home, her man wasn't really feeling that all the way. Now, he didn't make a big deal out of it, but you could tell he was like, like, what? Like...
So I'm curious to see when he goes on his dates, he can kiss his date's hand. I'm curious.
Because he mentioned it.
He did mention it.
And she was like, the difference is he's single, meaning Kyle, but you're somebody in a relationship. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of sort of agreed. Like, it's one thing, because it's one thing, he was the initiator, meaning Kyle. Like I said, it was her hand. And so she was already wiping the food off of his face. And he snuck in a kiss.
Well, you know what Joshua said, though, too, when he was talking to her when she got home. He said, well, I see he was being a gentleman. So, why can't I be a gentleman? Would that matter?
I do. I think there is a difference. I think there is a slight difference. Like, no. Especially now, because I would think that you're only doing it because... he kissed my hand on my first date. Like, now I just feel like you're just trying to play a game. And let's not do that.
Back to they know what they signed up for.
Facts. Right. So when they get back to the larger group at the end of the episode and they talked about their date, like I said, there wasn't really much there. Joya and Joshua, I just want to see more from them. There wasn't much given this particular episode.
Right.
I am curious to see, like, if she is going to choose to go on a second date with him. I felt like there was some chemistry there.
I feel she will.
Yeah, I think she would want to explore that a little bit.
I feel she will. And if she does, Josh is going to be shaking in them boots.
You think? It's not going to stay there. I mean, even if you see... the biggest mistake that they be really making is showing us, like, the season... preview so we can kind of see what's gonna happen. So it's clear she goes on a date with somebody else.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But so we'll see. But she's a cute girl, and she got this soft little voice, and I'm like, those are the ones you kind of have to watch out for. They say that about me too, but her voice. I don't know how you made it. I wish your eyes like that.
On to the next couple.
Anyways, so our next couple is Ricky and Catherine. They're adorable too. So they met in 2012. I think she said like at a tailgate party or something.
Yeah, it's a tailgate party.
bad timing, wrong time to be together. So they stopped. Then they reunited a couple years ago. So they've only been dating this second go round for like a little bit over a year, I believe, is what she said.
Yep.
Now the plot twist here is he's been married before. You know, Catherine really wants to get married, but he's already been in a marriage and has already went through a divorce. And so I can tell there's some fear there. And I know we're going to explore and get more into that throughout the season, but it's obvious a lot of it is just coming from insecurity and fear from his previous situation. And I get it.
And we're waiting to hear more information about what happened in that marriage. Let's see how deep he gets with that. But, I mean, we're human. You know, you fear getting your time wasted again.
Right.
You fear such a commitment and it doesn't work out again.
Right.
But I'm waiting to hear more about his story, though.
Right. I agree. I think it's more just like the fear of divorce. He did say at the end, and I'm jumping around here, but at the end he did mention how there was some cheatation going on. There was some other issues going on. So we're going to get into that because I also want to know who was cheating. Because that's important. It's important to know which one, were you the one that was cheating? We'll see.
I don't know how he was sounding. It made it seem like he was on the receiving end.
I don't know, cause dudes, y'all know y'all love to cheat, right? And then y'all act like y'all the ones that went through the highways and byways. Like it affected you so much. It hurt me to hurt you. Men love to do that. So I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see later. But
let him talk.
But regardless, at the end of the day, he did go through a divorce, and that's a very traumatic experience. Regardless of the situation, divorce is hard. Divorce is really hard, especially if you marry somebody with the intentions of being with them forever and starting a life with them, and it doesn't go as planned. At the end, you know, people should take divorce more seriously, mentally. Like, it does something to you mentally. Like, I feel like it takes time to heal from it. So I think he's just still in the middle of healing from that.
You're talking about hard. I'm talking about finances. Man, divorce is expensive.
Okay, but that's fine. Like,
expensive.
what? Did you know if he had kids? Do I have that in my notes? I don't know if he has kids.
I don't believe he said they had kids. I don't think they got that.
Not they. I think he does have kids.
Really?
I think he has kids. Yes, I think he has either kids with an S or a child. Oh. I think so. She doesn't. I don't think she does. But nevertheless, they both seem really, 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 really sweet. He seems to have a little bit of a sense of humor, a little bit. So that was cute. They're cute. Again, we didn't really get much. It's just the premiere. So we didn't really get much from them just yet. But for Catherine's first date, she goes on a date with, who is this? Mark. Now, when I first saw Mark, I was, like, he's not my type. But I know for a fact how he's pulling women is that personality. I know for a fact, because he seems like such a funny, fun, down-to-earth person. Like, he just seems really cool. Like, I don't know. Like, he was just such a good sport about the whole awkwardness of coming to pick her up. Because let's just call a thing a thing. This whole concept is so unorthodox. It's very different. I don't agree with it. I think it's some foolishness. So just to kind of play along with it, it can be very awkward to go pick up your date and they in a whole relationship, or to even date somebody that's in a relationship, and vice versa, to be dating somebody and you're in a relationship, even though hoes be doing that every day, dating people as they in relationships. But that's another conversation for another time.
You mad that she chose?
But yeah, I don't know. I liked Mark. He was really cool. Like, I liked him.
Now, I think it's interesting because just like her boyfriend, he's also divorced.
Yes, I remember him saying that. And then his perspective on it was interesting because you can tell he actually did the work of healing and really being, I guess, yeah, just healed from that situation, and took away whatever lesson needed to be taken away from it. So he seemed like he's just in a much better place, and is actually ready to be in a relationship
Yep.
without allowing his past to hold him back. So
Yep.
I really liked him. I felt like there was chemistry. She was cracking up when they was on a date, so I felt like there was chemistry. But I don't know. You think she gonna ask him, or not ask him, but you think she gonna say that she wants another date?
I don't know, because from the past seasons, when it gets to that time where after the first dates and the girls are asked, do they want to go on a second, and their boyfriends are literally sitting right next to them, putting that pressure on them, looking at them like, so what you gonna say? I mean, it's happened the past seasons. Like, people get nervous and they're just like, no, I don't want to make him mad.
Oh, I've only seen that happen like a handful of times, and usually those be the women that be in those like emotionally abusive relationships.
Oh gosh.
And that leads us to our next couple. Speaking about emotionally abusive. Now, mind you, there wasn't too many like big events that happened during the premiere, right? I will say this is the first season. This is the fourth season, season 4. This is the first time that the premiere episode, and I don't have like a strong reaction or dislike towards someone. More, I do have a strong reaction to one particular couple, but I don't have a strong reaction for everybody. I'm still kind of like, oh, like, let's get to know them. You know, there wasn't too many different, like I said, red flags, except for this one couple. Because I was waiting for it. Because I was like, oh, they all seem fairly normal.
Not all of them.
They look normal, okay? They look cute. Like I said, they all gorgeous. I said, so where's the problem? And then we found it. That's how we got to Chance and Dunbar. That's how we got here. And I knew they would bring the heat. Of course they are. So Chance and Dunbar.
Dunbar definitely brought something. I don't know if it was he, but he brought something.
So they have been together for only a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they do their little introduction package, and you know, they're so in love, and oh my god, they're obsessed with each other, and oh my god, she was sick at one point during this one year, had to go to the hospital, and he was there for her, and her heart melted for him, and oh my god, this is a beautiful love story, right? So we're like, well, what's the problem? Then he said, well, the only problem is she's not domestic. So then I said, oh, okay, so this is where I get off the train. I get off the train. This is my stop. This is my stop, y'all. One thing I don't do. I'm not with the whole housewife. I'm a cook and clean. I'll call you king. I'm not with that. I don't subscribe to that lifestyle. But to each his own. To each his own, right? I still was like, okay, like this isn't my thing, but you know, hear them out. Everybody is attracted to their own things. They want their own, I guess they all have their own things that they like in their relationship. What attracts you, attracts you. So if that's what you want, that's what you want. Whatever. No, like, no judgment there, I guess. But he's just like, she's not domestic because she need to clean more. She need to cook more. She need to rub his feet.
Let's definitely not forget rub the feet. He made that known multiple times.
That she need to rub some feet. Because...
And she need to light some candles.
Yeah, and she need to rub some feet. And I'm saying that again because that's how many times he said it. And he said that shit like, there's not a damn nail salon on every corner and he can't go get a pedicure or something.
No, he said he needs his feet rubbed when he gets in the door.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really nice for him. Anyway, so what got me, this was red flag number 1, right? So like I said, what attracts you attracts you. There's honestly no judgment there. Well, I'm low-key judging, but you know.
There's judgment. You're judging.
You know. Shut up. I don't. Okay, I'm not judging my head, but if that's what you want, that's what you want, okay? But what really got me was he says, and I have this quote, I want her to reach her full potential. And he wants her to learn how to be domestic, right? So for me, I feel like this is my opinion. I don't really feel like if you have to be taught how to be domestic, especially at their age, because I'm just going to say, she looks like she's over the age of 30. If she's not, my bad, girl, but my bad. She looked like she over the age of 30. So at this point, I just feel like if you have to be taught how to be domestic, then that's not necessarily what you want. Like that's not your bag. That's not who you are. So it will never be an authentic thing to me, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm making sense. Am I making sense? Like I don't feel like it would ever be an authentic thing.
Meaning it's not natural for her.
Right. So basically what I'm saying is to me that there will never be true happiness there. Like doing domestic things around the house on the level that he's talking about, it would always be contention there. Like there's always going to be the back and forth because that's not really who you are.
Right.
Like you're not the domestic type. You're not the one to have your man's dinner ready prepared for him every night, rubbing his feet every night, busting it open when he wants it. Like shit like that. Like if that's not who you are at a particular age, I feel like anything moving forward would be forced. So to me, that was just a red flag. But then also when he said, I want her to reach her full potential. So her full potential is her being domestic.
Well, I mean, he knows what he wants. He feels like he can shape her.
Yeah, and that's a problem for me. I don't like, but that's not a problem.
I mean, you can only be mad about how far you let them get away with things. I mean, I
don't know. It was like, like, all right. Like I tilted my head, right? At their intro package. I was like, okay, there's something there, right? So then we get to her first date. And she goes out with, what is his name? Philip, that's his name. Philip gets out the car, very attractive. Not gonna lie, he very attractive, just saying. He is. He's got a little height to him, got some nice little chocolate skin. He's okay. So comes to the door, and then that's when lights, camera, action for Dunbar. Mm-hmm. Like he just went on full performance mode. And I don't know how you guys felt about it, but for me, I guess some people would think that it was funny, a lot of the antics that he was doing. But for me, I was extremely uncomfortable watching it. Did I not say that? Like, I was over it.
He was doing a lot of
It was just a lot. It was so much. Like, the whole talking to him, like he was talking to that man like he was some little boy on the street. Like it was really weird. He was just really performing. Then the whole like, oh, let me put your shoes on, queen.
He knows he don't be doing that.
But then she then comes back and says, oh yeah, like he does that every day. Like she like, I doubt it. And I'm gonna get to her in a second.
I'm stuck on the prayer. He said let's pray before y'all go on y'all date. And I think he said something at the end pertained to these hands just don't pray. These hands will whoop your ass.
That was
you
so
say that
extra.
In a prayer?
That was extra, bro. That was extra. And my thing is, you don't talk to another grown man like that. Like, I understand that's your house. Right. Like, what would you do? Me. Honestly. Question. What would you do?
Oh, he going down his steps. What you mean? He look like he look like he about 5'9".
That's another thing. Like, how you gonna son somebody?
He threw out there early. He's a former NFL player.
Right. I forgot to mention that. You should mention that.
Somebody that knows football, I had the same impact he had for the Atlanta Falcons, which was not shit. So, we both had the same impact for the Falcons. We both did not shit for him, so. But continue. I just hate when dudes let it be known that they put like their former pro athlete and they literally did not shit. Nothing in the league. Nothing. Like, if I did nothing, I'm not going to let it be known. Like, you can find out. But if I knew I was just on the bench collecting checks, I mean,
I don't know who he is.
I'm a professional bench rider.
I'm the wrong one to talk about sports. I mean, this dude could have been top player and I would not know.
At the end of the day, he was trash.
Okay.
Let's keep moving. He was trash.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, I forgot he was even a pro athlete because it was a mute point. Like, nobody cares. I don't know if that had to do anything. But no, seriously, like, for him to try to, like, just sun him that way, it was just, that's such a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, you got the right one, though. Because if you would have got a different type of man, type of man would have handled you differently. Like, you trying to perform and stuff and do all this extra stuff, somebody else would have performed differently. And I'm also like, why are you acting this way for a show that you signed up for? That was weird to me. Like,
oh no.
That's how you know it's for the cameras.
You can tell as soon as that knock at the door, when Ovo was at the door, you can tell. He was
like, yo, action.
No, nothing but everything all over his face. Nervous.
No, action. Well, yeah, because he was a good-looking man. He's a good-looking man, and he's taller. You know how short men do. He had to look up to him. Imagine looking up to somebody.
I just want to be on this show. I'll be honest with you. Wouldn't be me.
Imagine looking up to somebody like that, and the person.
And so the thing that got me too was before they leave out, he gonna ask, "Oh, dude, are you gonna bring some food back?"
Yeah, bro. He was doing the most, bro. He was doing the most. It was ridiculous. So they go out on a date. And I like Philip. I really do. I think that he is a cool guy. Clearly, he's very level-headed. He even mentioned to the freaking idiot in the house about how he has both of his parents in his life. So it seems like he comes from a good background. And you can tell he does because of how he handled or responded to Dunbar. Because like I said, if you ran into a different type of man, you would have got a different response. So.
And I feel too, like I said, Philip, he's going on a date with this woman. He didn't want to ruin his chances with her because...
Well, this was the thing. So speaking of that, so now let's get to Chance. The thing is, as soon as her boyfriend, because that's your boyfriend, boo. As soon as your boyfriend acted a plumb fool in that house, it completely set the tone and the whole vibe of the date. And Dr. Stacy mentioned this later, right, when they're all together. And I was like, oh my gosh, she hit it right on the head, because I had just said that while we were watching their date. It set the tone for the rest of the day, because now she's like, oh, like my dude just stunned you. So
and that's Dunbar knew what he was doing. He wanted to make him look like a clown, make him look weak, make her feel you ain't gonna be secure with this dude because look what I did to him.
Right, and so, I'm sure.
And I think at the end of the day, I think what he wanted to do was, like I said, ruin it as much as possible. Like, let them leave with a sour taste going out on their date.
But what's the most concerning part is that she allowed that. Right? Because I think that it's clear to me that she's just out the gate. She's just the type of woman that finds stuff like that type of behavior very attractive. I find it very concerning. If it was me, I find it very concerning. I don't need my man to talk about how much of a man he is all the time and perform the way he did to validate his manhood in a way. Like, I don't need that. And soon as a dude out here talking about king this, I'm a king that, that's how you know. That's sign number one. That's how you know. There's about to be some foolishness that follows. But the date, after you could tell like she started to now warm up and actually let all of that other stuff go, it seems like it was going really well. Mm-hmm. We got to know her even a little bit more. She lost her mom at a really young age, so she was pretty much raised by her dad. She's from Chicago. Mm-hmm. I don't think she mentioned if she had kids or not.
I don't believe she does.
Yeah, I don't remember if she mentioned it. Well, I'll check and say it next week. But yeah, it seems like they were having some good laughs. It seems like she started to get just a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes her back home, and this fool, this little man, this little man is at the door. He's waiting at the door. And he opens the door. He has this stank look on his face, trying to intimidate somebody. It's this little man. And
he was at home shitting bricks the whole time.
It's just ridiculous. And Philip, being clearly the nice man that he came off to be, he brought the food bag, but I don't think that it was like him trying to be like he didn't punk him. I think he was even trying to prove a point, like nigga, like I just said sorry. But he's like, I can pay for food now. Like what? Like
hopefully he bought
little
some,
boy.
Hopefully he bought some spinach so he can grow an inch or two.
Baby, I hope so, because little boy. No disrespect to y'all. I'm talking about that for him because he's little inside. He clearly is one of those people that has to constantly. He constantly has an insecurity about himself for whatever reason, and I can only imagine the height is probably one of the many things that he's insecure about. But anyways,
maybe insecure about that football career. I mean, what career? But anyway,
that could be another thing. But Chance and Philip was gonna kind of come in, but he wouldn't even allow him in. Yeah. But then Dunbar doing the most. They start making out in front of
Well, Dunbar tried making out. She was kind of pulling away.
But she was just so entertained by it and turned on by it. Like, if you are so happy, girl, why are y'all on the show? Why are they on the show then? The way she was making it seem, why are you on the show? You love this man and he takes care of you and blah 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 and this is this and this that. Like, why are you on the show? I wonder who asked to be on the show. Like, which one of them was like, oh, we should do this show? And
you can tell from the other couples who asked.
Kind of, sort of. You can kind of tell. But in the end, it kind of gives off a lot of times the women. Yeah. Usually it's kind of the women that it's clear that they're the ones that ask to be on the show or ask their partner to be on the show. I don't know how it works.
Now, I do believe, though, I think when it came to them, I really thought it was Dunbar.
That asked to be on the show?
That is the one that's pushing the marriage.
Yes, because she even says in their little intro package, she was like, he would marry me today if I said...
Yeah, I think it's him pushing it.
Yeah.
I think it's him pushing
it. Yeah, which, okay, that's on brand. That makes sense. But when they all get together, again, at the end, and Chance brings up how the date went and how Dunbar acted... See, she brought it up thinking that people was gonna laugh at that shit. Mm-hmm. That's what she did. She embarrassed herself because nobody thought that shit was funny. Everybody, including Dr. Stacy. Dr. Stacy was over it, and that's when I was like, "Oh, I like Dr. Stacy," because exactly what I was thinking is how she called it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not a flex. How he was acting, because what were my exact words? When Philip came to the house to pick her up, what did I say? I said he's acting like what? I said this. And Dr. Stacy repeated it.
A father?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I said that she was moving and acting like that was her father. Like that was his daughter. Like that's how like my uncle will act. Like, when we were teenagers. Like this is how he would act with his nieces and his daughter. Not your significant other. He treated her like that was his property or, again, daughter. That's how he was talking to her. That's how he was treating her in front of a guest. And to me, that's what makes it even more embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And she just did not get it. Like, she was getting a little huffy because she was like, he's not controlling me at all. And then Dr. Stacy was like, but he is. And she just was not getting it. And it's so funny because all the other couples was like that wasn't cool. The way he acted. And I think it was Catherine that even chimed in and she was like, yeah, it's like you sunned him. And then that kind of tainted Chance's image of him. And I was like, everybody's hitting it right on the head. Like, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And Joshua... Mm-hmm. he even chimed in and was like, yeah, like, you know, as a man, like, you know, you respect another man, you know, you treat him like how you would want to be treated. Basic people skills that we learn when we're kids. But yeah, like, he was just doing too much, and they thought that they would get the laughs, and that the other women in the room be like, oh girl, like, oh, he loves you, and oh, he don't play about you. And like, girl, no, it ain't hot. It's not hot. We not feeling it. Don't like it. Take it back. Take it back. So off rip, they on my shit list. Off rip, not feeling it. More so Dunbar, of course, but her too, because at the end of the day, you're condoning that behavior. Because this, like, my thing is, does he act like that when y'all in public in front of people? Right. That's weird. Weird.
Well, no, I'm interested in seeing how they go throughout the season. You know, Dunbar, he has a lot of, you know, I know it's just episode 1.
Right.
Let's see if he can surpass our last couple villains, you know. Otis, Ken.
Why do you keep bringing them
Lonzo.
up?
They're historic. Historic.
Trauma. I never want to see them people again in life. I never want to see those people again in life. But I don't know. Like, what are your predictions for this season?
So from looking at the preview, there's a 4th couple that's gonna be joining them. Don't know which episode.
So that means that a couple's leaving then.
That, or she's just gonna have 4.
I think
but most likely leaving. Somebody's leaving.
Yeah, I think a couple's leaving.
I want to see who. You know, I want to see who's dates, like, who has another date with the same person. I want to see...
Like this first round?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I wonder, because it was a cliffhanger, this episode, so we don't know if the women are going to choose to go out on a second date with their first people that they went on a date with. I think Chance clearly is not going to choose Philip again, which, at the end of the day, her loss, whatever, it doesn't matter. Catherine choosing Mark... I'm not sure. I definitely think that Joya is going to choose to go back out with Kyle. I think so. It was a lot of chemistry there. And if she doesn't, it's only because she's not trying to disappoint her man. That's it.
But I'm also ready to find out more about these people. You know, find out some backstories. See more reactions. You know, some of them are trying to play poker face right now. Like, no, I'm not bothered by this. Oh, it's going to come out.
Yeah. You know there's going to be like a couple that's like a total shit show. Besides Chance and Dunbar. I think they look all nice on the surface. Catherine and what's his name? Catherine and Ricky. They look nice, and Joya and Joshua, they look like they all nice on the outside, but somebody got some shit with them. I know they do, because they wouldn't be on the show. They wouldn't be on the show. So something, we gonna see something. But I am excited for this season, because this season looks fairly normal. I don't want to eat my words later, so don't hold me to this.
I have my faith. This seems kind of more
realistic.
Folks aren't on drugs. Let's put it that way. Folks aren't on drugs. Well, on that note, that concludes another episode of Reality Check TV. And don't forget to join us next week for our review for episode 2.
Yes,
we're ready to see this. We're ready to see this cliffhanger. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
We wish y'all the best, and we can't wait to see y'all next week.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Y'all be safe.